You know when you talk to someone and you just have this feeling that this is my person. It's such an exciting feeling because you can't help but think of all the cool things that you can do together and talk about. I swear that from the moment I met Andrea and we had our first conversation, I was hooked. Andrea is a Seattle based photographer who can make someone who isn't used to being in front of a camera look confident and at ease in their photos. She works with making your dated headshots on all your profiles look like $1 million. She photographs classy boudoir photos, specializes in redoing your dating profile pics so that you get more quality dates, and she does photos of you just because you want to capture how good you're feeling at this moment in your life. I've personally had a chance to work closely with Andrea, and our values of how we take clients on is a seamless experience from start to finish. She's also my new business BFF and my go to person who I am texting all the time about my crazy ideas outside of my team because she's totally into brainstorming and dreaming up magic. In this conversation, we talk about the do's and the don'ts of what to wear in a photo shoot, how your old profile photos could be holding you back from your full potential, the importance of being authentic in your photos and what that means, how your personal style can leave a lasting impression, and so much more. So let's get started. I am so excited. I have been excited all morning to have you on the podcast today because we have had so many business ideas. I am really glad that you're here today.
Me too. Thanks for having me.
Today, we want to talk with you about all the things about photos because Andrea's specialty is photography, and there is so much that goes into it, which is like how you show up, what's authentic to you, who are you, and she can capture all those things. So, what do you specialize in when it comes to photography?
So portraits are my jam. It's photos of people, but I have a couple of kind of like my main business wheelhouses are headshots for people's professional persona, LinkedIn, your website, branding type work. And then um, a branch of my business that's really taken off, especially over the last 3 or so years, is online dating photography. So photos of you for your dating profile on like Hinge and Bumble. People have a hell of a time finding on their camera roll 6 or 10 or however many, not just good photos of them, but photos that give a little bit of a glimpse into their life. And, what do you look like? Sure. But like, what are you into? How do you spend your time when you're not working? So I get to do these really fun photo shoots where we're all over town. We're doing hobbies and activities and things, changing clothes a bunch of times. This is how we got to know each other. And just super rewarding work because the stakes are love and partnership. I I I like to think that I'm making the world better by helping people connect with their person. So
I think that is so wonderful. And I've seen the work that you've done. The first time you reached out to me, so let's even just share like how we connected. We didn't like it wasn't us that made the connection together. It was someone that hired me, and he reached out saying that he needed help with photo or not photo, sorry. He needed help with his clothing because he is traveling. And I was like, yeah, let's get something together. He's like, I'm gonna be out of town for a few months. I want to like feel really cool. And I'm like, okay, like he did not even mention that he was doing pictures for his dating profile at all. And then I get an email from you and you're like, we need to talk. I really liked his killer outfits and stuff. And we talk on the phone and I'm like, we totally connected. I was like, how did that happen? Like I had no idea. And I put his outfits together too because he said that he just wanted to know how to wear some of his cool pieces we got. Because before he was literally wearing sweatpants and just these like old pair of tennis shoes he had. I'm like, we need to update this. Um, so yeah, it was just the way that we connected was really a surprise.
okay, so yes. So I had this photo shoot. It was kind of in a hurry. This guy, he was like, I'm going to Dubai for work for the summer. Young guy, like 20s. I'm
Yeah.
like, cool, we made it happen. It was kind of like in a big rush. And he brings this giant rolling suitcase we open it up and I'm like, damn, there's some fun stuff in here. And he he puts on outfit after outfit that's got like, in one moment it's like Drake hip hop vibes because there were some sweatpants. There was this like monochrome kind of camel colored, I don't know, with matching shoe. Anyway, I eventually mid shoot I'm like, dude, do you just have like a great fashion sense? Like what? This is not the normal clothes that people show up with, especially with kind of a last minute photo shoot. And he's like, oh, I hired this woman, Tanya. I'm like, Tanya, who? So he just like was like, I don't know, Tanya. So anyway, I Googled and then I reached out to another Tanya who wasn't you first, and then was like, oh, it's the wrong person. And then I found you and I, you know, all I knew that was that he looked fantastic. And so many of my dating photography clients are at an inflection point in their life where, maybe they've had a divorce or the end of a long-term relationship, or they've moved, or they've lost a bunch of weight. Like very frequently, the dating photos aren't random. It's kind of part of a bigger sort of growth path and transition moment. And so I have found over the years that many people are due for some new clothes. In the photo shoot, we need to show them a bunch of different outfits. So, on any, say I'm on, here's my Hinge profile. You don't want to be wearing the same outfit in multiple photos. That's weird. And you're leaving cards on the table because how we dress helps communicate who we are. So while the photos aren't about the clothes are an important piece around telling a story about a multidimensional person. So yeah, over the years, I have found like people need more help with wardrobe than I've been able to give them. So that's when I, started having feelers out about stylists, and I've worked with a few. And anyway, when we first connected, you and I, Tanya, I was like, oh my God, okay. I feel like soul sisters. We've got kind of what feels like a really similar ethos around we're not following formulas. It's not like a hack or a 1, 2, 3 step for everyone the same. It's really about teasing out the individual person, what makes them feel good, not one right answer, not a lot of shoulds. Anyway, so it's been really great ever since. I don't know how many, I think we're over a dozen
I think
shared clients just in a few months. So, and all of them have looked fantastic at their photo shoot, said it was just such a great experience. Anyway, we got a good thing going here where we're, you know, helping people solve in a more complete way the problem or the question of how do I want to be in the world? How do I want to present myself in the world in a way that's genuine and will be super, super specifically attractive to the kinds of people who are my people?
Mhm.
So I don't remember where we started, but this is how we met.
Yeah, and I do, and I remember I got to say we went out together a few nights ago, and I just said how excited I am that people I think are connecting with both of us because we're on a similar level of how we want to work with our clients and really show them like you can look like this is you, and let's just bring that out. Let's bring this out of you. And I want to know with your process, how do you help clients feel like really good in their photos and authentic and comfortable? Because that's a whole other thing. Like, yeah, they have their clothing on and then they get in front of the camera. It's like, freeze, freeze. Like, how do you help them like feel really good? Especially, I know a lot of my clients at least are introverts and they're not used to being like the center of attention.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. So for me, a lot of that starts well before the photo shoot in our conversations on the phone, in a Zoom call. I have prep emails that are more, they're less of your typical photo shoot prep email insofar as like what you need to do with your makeup, what you need to do with your hair, and they're more mindset oriented about how to show up for this experience with openness and curiosity and trust in yourself that one, you have permission to be yourself. In fact, that's the only sensible thing to do most of the time. And two, you as you are are dynamic and attractive and like so I'm sharing really and it's real. It comes from my heart. I'm sharing really empowering, validating messages from the beginning that the key or the secret or the trick to looking super magnetic and sexy and fun and all the things that you want to look to like attract a mate in your dating photos doesn't have anything to do with presenting a certain version of yourself or performing attractive or knowing how to make a certain face so you look mysterious. So some of it's like the pre-shoot, I'm kind of, and also I think my website has this kind of tone where it's not, you know, where it's very like I'm about what's real. And so some of it's that, like, for the most part, people hire me who want that and also get that it's true. You know, sometimes I'm telling you the truth that you may or may not want to hear, which is like, your job's to be yourself. Like, you have to. Because if we dress you up in a costume and pose you and present you in a way that's not true to you, you might attract people, but they're not going to be the right people. And across the board, my dating photography clients, they're not looking for casual hookups. They're looking for like their person, like a companion, an equal. And there really is only one way to attract that, which is to be yourself. But in terms of at the photo shoot, you know what, like all my introvert, lots of clients in tech, um, like once you're in front of the camera, I do coach people. I do like pose people, okay, like I want your elbow here, like lean back. Oh, your friend just walked across the street. You're happy to see them. I'm giving a lot of cues like that. But I think some of the secret sauce is the meandering conversation that's happening as we're doing the photo shoot that doesn't have to do with the photo shoot at all. We're just two people connecting, new friends, like, you know, like what's on your bucket list? Like what's a food that you have trouble, like you always want to overeat on? And like we're just having a conversation. And so I people are really distracted and they tell me a lot. Oftentimes I hear like, damn, I forgot for a little bit that I was having my picture taken. So kind of getting your mind off of like, we're doing pictures and just in the moment. I mean, I don't even know. It doesn't feel like work. It's just sort of like my temperament. I really try and I really connect with people and we get like, it's me and you and we're in the moment and the world is around us, but like we're having this like rapport, we're having a conversation. And so I'm capturing expressions as they pass across people's face just in during conversation. I'm not, you know, another method that other photographers use is like, okay, I want you to like squint your eye and look, you know, like it's more like trying to be a fake model, I guess. And that's just not my that doesn't I don't see that as working. And so anyway, I get people busy and distracted and super engaged with me. And then I end up coaxing out of my like even, you know, some people are kind of stiff at the beginning, introverts. Pretty soon we're just like new friends on a weird busy walk with a camera and a strange amount of clothes changes.
Hmm.
So
And do you feel like this part of like the conversation and helping them kind of like relax into it, is this something that you've recently started doing, or is it like from the beginning you just started doing that and you just knew?
oh, I can't help it. I'm really extroverted and super chatty. I worked at coffee shops for years and it's, you know, it's like banter. It's like you're chatting people up and I have a really natural inclination to like find connection with people quickly, see what gets them going. What common ground do we have? I think it ends up working really like it really helps the process of getting the outcome we both want of these like really genuine dating photos. But I couldn't like stop if I wanted to because that's just who I am.
I love it. Yeah. And some clients, I mean, it's so fun having conversations with them and getting to work one-on-one with people because everyone has so many different stories. Like you shared in the beginning, the people that connect with you when they come to you. Um, I know there's a lot of reasons of why people probably feel like they need an update on their photos, but what do you think are kind of like the top reasons that people come to you to get photos done? Like, is it that they feel like their photos look dated on LinkedIn? Are they not feeling good about themselves? Like, what are a few of the top examples that you think people are like, I am ready to hire a photographer and get this redone? It's time.
That's a good question. There's kind of there's like a few most common reasons that people share, and one of them I've already kind of mentioned is like a transition point in their life. Like I was married for 20 years and now I'm like single for the first time, or my girlfriend and I broke up. So one of them is like newly single. That is a trigger often for dating photos, like starting from scratch, getting on a dating app and being like looking through your camera roll like, oh no. um that is definitely one of the very common. Another one is like people have been dating for dating photos. People have been on the apps for a while. They've been on they're like not matching with people they're excited about, or not very many people at all, and they're looking at their photos with side eye like, I don't think I'm showing well. I mean, because the photos are marketing, right? Whether it's LinkedIn or your dating profile. And so there's this a level of self-awareness. People have kind of like there's something that they want that maybe they've been going after and haven't had success, and they're thinking like, the photos are, if people don't make it past your first photo on the dating app, they that's it. That's you have one chance. Um, Oftentimes with headshots, it's for entrepreneurs like yourself and me, it's like a web redesign or rebrand. That's a trigger oftentimes. Sometimes it's a whole team that needs headshots. Um, New job hunting. I work with a lot of people who are in transition. And
Hmm.
I think, some of them have awareness going in that there's this practical matter, which is like, I need a photo for my profile on LinkedIn or for my dating profile. Some of them will also reference, even before the photo shoot, realizing that there's an emotional experience here too. And they're ready to like see their current self, to feel good about the photos they have them representing them online. It starts feeling really yucky when your profile photo's like 5 years old, 6 years. You're like, I mean, it it just there's this inner experience of confidence boost and like a jump starting of your self-esteem of having photos where you're like, hell yeah, that's me right now, feeling good, looking confident, looking real, not posing like, but like just being me, and I look great. It's like putting on a great outfit and going out like, yeah, like you feel good.
Hmm.
And some people after the shoot will say like, oh my God, this has been like such a huge, like transformative emotional experience for me. And I'm like, not only am I, you know, getting a bunch of matches with people I'm excited about, but I feel confident and I'm showing up to dates and coming from a place of strength and empowerment. So it's really exciting.
It's so important. And obviously, through the process of working with a photographer or myself as a stylist or anyone that you hire as a coach in any sense, the deeper that you are, that you allow the person to get in with you, the more that you get out of the experience, I feel like. There was a few days ago a client, not one that we have worked with together, but she's a woman, and we weren't trying to get that deep, but she sensed it as we were going through her pieces and taking things out, and she didn't realize that the way that she was dressing and what was in her closet, she was putting her self-worth down. Like she wasn't valuing herself enough. Like on a level financially, she was at a higher level, but she wasn't taking care of her clothing, how she looked like, but she knew that she wanted to be respected in her field and stuff. And she was like, my closet really showed how I was perceiving myself in general. Like it wasn't even just the clothes. And so we worked together on finding like what it was that helped her feel more confident and feel like she was valuing herself. And it isn't even about name brands or anything, but it's just feeling more put together. The colors that you wear, the clothing that fits your body right instead of hiding in things. Like it was a
Hmm.
big eye-opening experience. So yeah, with anybody, depending on, how much you get, how much you want to open up with the person you're working with, like you can get so much out of an experience out of anyone that you hire. And I think that's, yeah, it's life-changing.
Oh, absolutely. And the other bit kind of along these same lines is, when you step out in a really put together outfit that fits your vibe and fits your body. And same thing when you have dating photos that are like, okay, here's a good word, intentional. When you're being intentional about how you're presenting yourself, there's the sort of first reaction of other people about like, that person looks good, or like, she's cute, or he's hot, or whatever. But then there's this other, like, more underlying response that others have to us as we move through the world of like, when you have quality, well-fitting clothes, when you have quality dating photos, it sends the message that you get that how you present yourself matters, and it gives other people information about you. You're being intentional about how you do it, and you see yourself as a person who deserves to look and feel great. And in the case of like on dating apps, who is a like a high value quality partner, it just sends such a different message than like you rummage through your closet or your camera roll and like threw this together. Um, yeah, there's a lot there. And some clients are like have their finger to that pulse going in. Some of them realize it afterwards. But it's powerful. Like, I think at least as powerful as the sort of visual
Mhm.
experience of, how you look, how
Mhm.
you feel.
Yeah, and even for myself, I recently, not because I really cared about rebranding my site, but I turned 35 and it wasn't like a midlife crisis, but it was kind of like I'm in a different place in my life completely after my baby and being engaged. And I'm so happy. I'm in a great place in my life. And when I was looking at photos on my website, I was like, those are photos from like, I mean, I was doing well, but that's like a different place in my life. And I
Mhm.
wasn't feeling connected to the photos on my website anymore. So I'm like, and I reached out to you to help me, but when I was doing it, I was like, I want it now. I don't know why. I was like, and that my son, I want it now. And I was trying to find someone to do my hair and my makeup. And it was so interesting. And you brought this up, and I didn't realize it really until you brought it up. I wasn't so aware of it. But you had mentioned how sometimes people, because I mean, yeah, we look at each other or ourselves in the mirror and stuff like that. But there's something about seeing new photos of yourself and your outfits that is like, I don't know, like you see yourself in a different light, like, oh, I could look like that. Like, coolest thing. And you had mentioned that.
Yeah, yeah. Having photos of your like, this is me in this moment in time, feeling good, valuing myself, being confident.
Mhm.
It's just so good. Did when you got your photos back, were you like, hell yeah, like ego boot, like
Yeah.
feels so good.
I was like, I want to share it everywhere. I need to put it. I'm just very quick acting with things. So once I got it, like it was up all over the place on LinkedIn, on the website. The only thing I can't figure out is Zoom. It needs a certain thing, but Zoom is the only one I couldn't figure out yet. But everything was like updated like right when I got them. I'm like, done. Check.
Well, and the other that brings up another thing, which is like, I always not everyone's thinking about it. A lot of times when people come for new portraits or headshots or dating photos, they're like, I need it for this. And I'm like, okay, in your case, it was like your website, right? The
Yeah.
original idea. But then I always encourage everyone to think about like a cross-platform update, because a lot of times people will like cross-reference you other places, and especially on dating apps, women will look guys up on LinkedIn to be like, is he real? Like,
Mhm.
does he have the job he says he does? Just sort of like a trust thing. Um, but even still, again, there's like the tangible, immediate thing, which is like you want to look. fresh and up to date wherever people might encounter you online. And then there's like how that feels. Like I got my ducks in a row. Like I'm put together,
Yeah.
especially when you're cracking open the next chapter of your life and you're on this upward journey. I think, yeah, when people that I work with are almost always on at some point along a growth path of like building their better life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, it just changes everything. Like a good photo. If you're listening and there might be some people listening right now, if you're listening and you know that LinkedIn profile photo just needs to be updated, definitely, definitely you have to reach out. The link is going to be down below in the show notes so you can reach out and email her because you are not on social media.
I'm not.
I
Oh,
admire
I'm
that about
calling out.
you. I admire
Oh,
that.
I mean, it's a pain point for every couple months. I'm like, oh, I gotta finally do it. Um, but I just, it's such a big thing, and I haven't needed it yet.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Let's follow up with me later. We'll see on that because I do think I have so much good content, especially for like an Instagram with the dating photos and the stories and the before and after. The before and afters. I mean, everyone loves a good before and after, but it's really fun. It's one thing when it's like boudoir photographers will take these horrible before photos, like no makeup and you're all messed up and it's bad lighting. You're like, look at her before. And then the after is like full on like drag stage makeup and like, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't even look like the same person. I think what I'm proud of with my before and afters is you're always like, oh, that's the same person. Just
Yeah.
look at them. They look like genuinely happy. They look like they're feeling good. But yeah, circle back with me later on the social media. I do love blogging, and we've got a couple of posts featuring you coming up because I'm such a fangirl, and I've just been singing your praises, and I feel like everyone I tell about you is like, okay, like that's what they want. They're like, there's a person that does that. I'm like, yes, her name's Tanya. Tell her, reach out to her and tell her I sent you. So it's so fun as a small business owner connecting with other small business owners who like have the same values.
Mhm.
It's not, it's just really special. Like, oh, you're my people. Like we're doing the same thing here. We're working on the same project.
Yes. And we can't do it
So
all. We have to hand things like I don't know anything about hair. I don't know makeup. I just do fashion.
yeah, well, and it's nice. Like it's a team. It's a team thing. Yeah, it's so fun and rewarding, and I just am so grateful. And I've started asking people right when they first contacted me. Headshots clients, not so much. They just need one outfit. Most people can rustle that up, but dating photo clients are like 10 outfits. I'm like, don't worry.
So many.
Help is here if you want it. Her name's Tanya.
And that brings me to the point. This is a really good topic. The fashion do's and don'ts in their photo sessions.
Mm. So more than half of my clients are men. Um, so we'll start there. Many are in tech, many work remote, so are like at their home and ordering takeout and going to the gym kind of is like their day to day. So not much need for clothes except that they want a date. And I'm like, you need clothes for dates, not just dating photos.
Hmm.
So some of the things that I see with my male clients who didn't hire you or, who need help with their clothes are things that don't fit that well, usually too big. Um, so not, I don't know. I think it comes from a place of they're like, well, this is comfortable. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you can have clothes that fit nice and are comfortable. It has to do with the fabric and the brand and everything. But so like too big of clothes that haven't been cared for or are old. So they're just looking worn out. They're wrinkly, not you don't look you don't look like you're very on it
Mhm.
if like your shirt's all rumpled. Um, so, oh, what else? Super, super redundant wardrobes. So like a narrow color palette, all navy and gray, for example, a common example. Um, and like, I had a client not long ago. We did an hour photo shoot. We squeezed in. He wore the same pair of pants for the full hour, but we changed shirts, four different shirts. Two of them were blue polo shirts that looked exactly the same. I'm like, um, if you're giving clothes are, like I said, clothes are kind of giving people clues about you. They're also helping people imagine on dating apps what it might be like and feel like to be with you in different contexts. It's a lazy Saturday, just walking around getting coffee, or it's date night, it's third date, and you're going somewhere kind of dressy. And like so showing range. I think one of the don'ts for dating photos wardrobe is having a really narrow range. It's kind of one note. It's like, okay, well, he looks nice in a blue polo shirt, but like some occasions and places in life call for things besides a blue polo shirt. So sort of
Mhm.
like leaving cards on the table. And so yeah, ill-fitting, not very well cared for, redundant and narrow. Those are pretty common. I think honestly, my female clients tend to be like more on it with their clothes, even just on their own. But I mean, we live in it's a different world when you're a woman. Um, but I think let me say some do's for photos, just like when you're at, a restaurant and there's like it's like a bar or restaurant and there's TV screens around, there's like color, even if you don't care what's on the screen, but there's like color flashing,
Mhm.
it it like it draws you. So sometimes we have locations that have colorful backgrounds and stuff, but I always love a good like throw one shirt in maybe for your dating photo shoot that's like got some juicy color. And I feel like everyone, and jump in and correct me if this is wrong. I think it's hard to go wrong with like rich saturated jewel tones in
Mhm.
terms of like skin type. Like I don't look great in like a butter yellow or like a pale pink. I look naked because I'm pale pink colored, but juicy rich colors, and even if it's just one shirt,
Mhm.
I think that's great. Like on dating apps, people are swiping your online shopping. It's very like fast. So like, red, that can be really eye catching. And I think in the Pacific Northwest, I don't know why people skew so gray and navy. Our whole climate is kind of gray and navy a lot of the year. So colors a yes. I encourage people. And then another thing that I think people think about less, but your dating photos serve an important filtering function.
Mhm.
Your time is valuable. You don't want to waste it connecting with and going on dates with people who are like not a good fit at all for you. So, and this can be hard sometimes to get through to, especially like male clients who have a shortage mentality, like they haven't been matching with many people on the apps. I'm like, well, it's because you have like terrible selfies shot from down here. Like it's not you, it's just your photos. And we don't want to cast a net that's going to like capture everyone. We want to cast a net that's got, I don't know, do you put bait in a net? I'm trying to make a fishing metaphor, but I don't fish. You want to like put bait out that's real and it's going to be like a magnet for the people you would be great with. So you can use your clothes to help with that. If you have anything that you like to wear
Mhm.
that might be a little polarizing, whether it's whatever, some like a pink shirt as a man, or like a shouty pattern, or for me, it's like sequins, fringe, like party clothes just on a
Yeah.
Tuesday. If there are people out there who might be like, oh my God, no, I would never, that guy in the pink shirt, Good. Let's find that out before you waste any of your time or theirs. So, not everyone has things in their wardrobe that are like that, but many people do. If you ask about it, they'll be. I had a guy recently who was like, it was all like Henleys and polo shirts, and then before the shoot, he sent me this picture of like a matching tracksuit that's got stripes. It's like an Adidas. It's got stripes on the
Yeah.
sleeve, but it's like got tigers all over it. It looks like some sort of like Russian hip hop artist. But and I was like, David's a common name, could be anyone, but his name David. I was like, David, you've been holding out on me. Like, what's the story on that tracksuit? Like, do you actually wear that? And he's like, yeah, I got it during COVID when I was just wearing comfy clothes and I wanted something more fun. And I found, I'm like, but do you wear it out? And he's like, I like to wear it to the grocery store. And I was like, I love that.
Love
I
that.
love that. And there are women out there, myself included, who would see the guy in the tired tracksuit in the grocery store and be like, hell yeah, get it. Like, I like that. You know, you're not afraid to stand out. You're marching to the beat of your own drum. So that's another do. Like, if you have an item that you love to wear, you feel great in, but like might put some people off, good, put them off. Let's
Yeah.
throw a photo of you in that outfit in there.
I like that. I'm going to share a couple too. For some reason, men sometimes think like, especially when I go in their closet, they're like, should I wear like my suit jacket to the photo shoot? I'm like, a suit jacket from what year? And like, no, that doesn't match your jeans anymore. Like, if you want to wear a sport coat, like, yes, I am all for it, but you need something with like texture, maybe something online, something less constricting because your lifestyle isn't like that anymore. Like you had that suit in your closet from years ago for a reason, and people hold on to that suit for like ever for some reason they think they're going to pull it back out. But I always make them donate it because I remind them if you were to have a job interview where it did require a suit, you would not be wearing a suit from 10 years ago. You'd want to go even in an interview, like feeling really confident and good about yourself and more modern and up to date. You're not going to pull out that suit. Has to go. Don't use in your photos. Um, Another one is obviously we all, well, not we all, because I don't have sneakers except for running, but a lot of people really enjoy sneakers, especially men. They have a collection.
Mhm.
But in the photos, like wear nice sneakers. Don't wear your beat up sneakers or your bright red sneakers that literally don't go with anything. Unless it goes with the outfit, I'm all for it. But if you're not like a sporty style and you just put them in the photo because you didn't have another pair of shoes and you thought they were cool, um, you want to feel really put together in your outfits. I feel like it need, like you said, it needs to make sense and be intentional. Like show
Mhm.
who you truly are. Don't just be like, oh, I need to wear this because it's in my closet or because maybe I might look a little dressed up, even though that's not anything you'd ever wear to a date anyways. It's like that shouldn't be in your outfits for your photos. Wear things that feel good to you that you would actually wear out on a date.
Oh, absolutely. Or like they heard, like I heard you're supposed to wear a suit jacket in your dating, you know. I'm like, I'm with you on that. And
Yeah.
I do love the look of, and it's all, it is, you're right. Like the jacket that goes with the suit is a totally different
Yes.
texture and fit and flavor than
Like
what
it.
more people around here actually do and would wear, which is a blazer that would go with jeans.
Yep.
Um, Even when I'm doing headshots for someone, it's like we're knocking out new LinkedIn photos. That's our whole purpose.
Mhm.
So they're not going to show further down than like mid chest. I still recommend put together a head to toe look all the way down to your shoes. Shoes aren't going to be in the photos, but you're going to move different because we do like when we're fully put together, we carry ourselves differently. Many people stand up straighter, they have more confidence. So head to toe, even if your toes aren't in the picture. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love that tip. And also about there's so many nice sneakers now. There's even like men's shoes that look kind of like a dress shoe but have a sneaker sole and are comfy. Those are great for guys who want like they're really comfort oriented, but they also want to look sharp.
Hmm.
Love those.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, sneakers for other people. For me, I like to dress up a little too much. And when I've tried sneakers, I know it's not me. I'm like, I tell my clients the same thing. Like, don't make something work that doesn't work for you. Sneakers are just not my jam.
well, yeah, and I've told other people I repeated your words. It's like that. Remember those like "What would Jesus do" bracelets? I
Yeah.
have like "What would Tanya say?" And you told me when I was getting things out in my closet, and
Hmm.
we went over this. Like I'm in party mode. I like party clothes, but and you're helping me learn how to wear them just a Monday. You know how to pair like my rhinestone boots with jeans and a t-shirt, and just giving me permission that
Uh-huh.
you can do that. But when I was stepping out for you and clothes from my closet while we were doing the closet edit and purge, and it was like, pretty woman style business casual. And I'm like, I mean, this is a look, right? It fits nice. And you said something along the lines of like, just because it's a style doesn't mean it's your style. And I'm like, oh.
Hmm.
So I think that especially when people don't have a lot of confidence around clothes and dressing, they'll like look around and be like, that's a thing. Guys wear jeans with a blazer, and then it might not be right for them at all, even though it looks super cool on like Tom down the street.
Yeah.
So permission to deselect stuff that doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
I like that about when you have helped style people.
And they're all very different. And because you have done so many photo shoots, I know they're mainly in the area, but have you had like what was the coolest photo shoot experience that you've had? I'm curious.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me two very fun ones just this week.
Mm.
I was at an arcade earlier today with all the like flashing colored lights. And I had the client get on like this motorcycle riding arcade game, and it had like wind that it blew on him, and he had kind of long hair. So like a Beyonce fan with the
Oh
like,
my
it
gosh.
was very fun. Yeah, yesterday I got to go. The client is really into movies. He loves to go to the movie theater. So usually I'm an ask forgiveness instead of permission kind of person when it comes to like taking photos different places. But
Mhm.
we tried with the theater, like, can we show up early, like a place or one of the screens that's not being used, and we couldn't get it to work out. So we just showed up for the like early showing of Top Gun Maverick on what was yesterday? Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday, thinking like no one's gonna be there. He got a huge popcorn, and then I'm like climbing all over the seats in front of him, and he's like acting surprised and like popcorn's in the air. So that was really fun. But my definitely a couple like my two peak photo shoot experiences of the last year-ish. One, I got to take dating photos for a Navy guy who flies like fighter jets. He's based on Whidbey Island. So the shoot was up in Anacortes and then Whidbey Island. And my dad was a Navy fighter pilot. Anyway, this client took me, it was a Saturday, so like the base was kind of shut down. And he has like a jet, like a fighter jet, like the Blue Angels fly, with his name on it. He put his flight suit on. One, I was like lusty because I love, Top Gun.
Yes.
But also like my dad, like,
Oh my
so like just it was peak experience. I was really geeking out about that. And then coincidentally another peak photo shoot experience for me was on Whidbey Island as well, and it was with a guy who he's a marijuana grower.
God.
He like distributes to the dispensaries all around, and he took me in like the grow house of like these like weed plants all
Yeah.
he's in, and the light, like the grow lights are crazy, like it's really weird. So he had to wear like cool sunglasses, and he's like without any other shirt, it was like freedom. That was definitely a really special experience. I mean, I would have never gotten to go in there. So yeah, sometimes I get to do some pretty fun stuff. I have a really fun job. I get to like hang out with fun new people, make new friends, and be outside most mornings.
Oh,
So,
yeah, I love it. And of course, we could talk forever. So I kind of want to close it up. Before I ask my final question, is there anything else in general that you want to share with people?
yes, if you're thinking about, I guess this is for my people who are going to come do dating photos. If you think you might need some help with your clothes, do it. Just reach out to Tanya. I I've had a couple of clients, as you know, who did the photo shoot with me, and during the shoot and after, I was like, you really need to update your clothes. Like I've had some people come to shoots with like really just unfortunate wardrobes. And two of them have hired you after the shoot, which is great. It's awesome. But it's kind of a shame because like all their photos are in like the boxy dad shirts that just
Yes.
weren't working at all. So if you have a hint of an inclination to hire a stylist, hit Tanya up before your photo shoot and at least do the closet edit. I love about what you do that you have like you do it with everyone, whether it's at their home or virtual, where let's like see what you got here. Let's see what's not working. That's such a huge confidence boost just alone. And
Yeah.
it's so approachable. And then they can decide whether to continue forward and have you shop for them. But even that alone, I think makes a huge difference. And it's like an hour of their time. So worth it. So yeah, I'm a fangirl and I'm plugging. Hi, Tanya.
I love it.
Yeah,
And I mean, like I said, we could talk forever. And if you guys go to either one of your websites, you'll find a blog post. And I do want to say too, when I was looking at your website after you posted the new blog post, I haven't seen the newest one because I think we're doing a second one too. But when I saw the pictures, like obviously I shop for people, I've shopped for them and I've seen them in their outfits, but there was also something as a stylist that was helping them seeing the pictures. I was like, those look really great. Like on the screen, just in general, it's like the colors, the way they look, they felt, you could tell like they felt really good. They felt like in their place, like where they're supposed to be. Like I absolutely loved it. And then I did scan some other pictures you've done in the past that you had, and there was a lot of like plain like white shirt and like a plaid. And then with the photos that we have done, I'm like, they're so much more fun and authentic. They're all every client is just so different. And I really try to cater to not just them, but what their lifestyle is so that they actually wear the pieces that they're gonna buy. That's the most important part.
absolutely. Yep. So even if they're hiring you because they're doing a photo shoot, it's not for the photo shoot
Yes.
only, right? It's for their life after the photo shoot. Yeah.
Okay, last question. What impact do you want to make with every client that you work with? How do you want them to feel and what do you want them to take away from working with you?
Ooh, I like making people feel good, but not the kind of like shallow, temporary, fragile good that comes from being all transformed and seeing a person in the photo that you recognize as you but doesn't look anything like who you see in the mirror day to day. I like I like giving people sets of photos that they can look at and be like, that's me. There's no denying it, and that's what I look like. And feeling that really deep confidence boost that comes from seeing yourself through fresh and really clear eyes. That's huge for me. Of course, I want people to like meet their new sweetie, with dating photos, but that kind of inner shift, that like permission to be yourself, validation that you are okay as you are, and you don't need to pretend or perform,
Mhm.
and that confidence boost. Confidence is the single most magnetic quality I think, in anybody, man, woman, anybody. So I like to like fan people's flames and send them off into the world, like walking a little taller, maybe with a little swagger, feeling good about themselves.
That is such a special thing for people, I think. Oh, thank you so much for your time today. And if you'll be hearing more of us because we're just going to keep coming out here. But yeah, this was a good beginning episode for us to share what photography is like if you need help with LinkedIn, if you need help with your dating profile, whatever it is, or maybe you just want some sexy pictures of yourself. So,
I do
whatever,
that too.
yeah, whatever it is that you need help with. And the link is going to be below. So, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
After the recording stop, we stayed on the call to talk more about our upcoming plans. After the recording stopped, we stayed on the call to talk more about our upcoming plans and more things that we can do together to give you the best experience possible when you work with us. We recently did a blog post on her website together, and I got to see photos of a ton of clients that I had helped put together their outfits for these dating profile pics. And it made me so happy to see the results. You could tell that they felt really good in everything they're wearing. And I mean, I've gotten a lot of texts and reviews afterwards, but it's so different just seeing the images and how they're showing up in all their new clothes. I was totally blown away by them. I wish that there were more before pics though, so you could see what they were wearing before, but the majority of the clients that I had been working with before were men, and they were wearing a lot of just t-shirts and jeans, and during COVID, they kind of got stuck figuring out what to wear afterwards, but it's like this year is all about going out again. So a lot of people are in that place in their business or their life and dating or whatever it is to just like bring life back into their everyday moments. So it's been awesome to see their transformations. The way that we did make their casual wear like dressed up a bit more was just by integrating some new colors, layers, textures that helped create full-on looks that made them feel sexy and attractive. If you really want to see what these photos look like, you can go into the link below in the show notes to datingphoto.co. That is Andrea's website for her dating photos, and you will see the blog post, and it is wonderful. After listening to this podcast, if you're feeling like your profile pics need a lift, get in contact with Andrea now on her website at iconphoto.co. The links to everything I'm talking about, that blog post, to get to her website will be in the show notes so you can easily get to her. She specializes in dating pics as well, so if you're in that place in your life too, she can help you update your photos. And there are a ton of before and after pictures of clients that she's worked with. Plus, she has over 200 reviews. She has fans that just love her work. She will capture you in photos that will have you excited to post and share in all the places that you show up. If you enjoyed listening to this conversation, I would truly appreciate if you could take a few minutes to leave a 5-star review on the podcast. It will help us reach so many more people and grow our community. And we can get to have more guests that come on and share more about how they can help you on your life journey. It is such a blessing when I do have a guest and we get to have conversations that you get to be a part of. Continue building a life and style that truly reflect you and light you up. I'll catch you next time.